I made the world's my net, each joy a mesh. A hunger amorous of a suffering prey, life that devours my image, see in things. A hunger, that is the very nature of the void. Void means all that comes into existence, void will swallow it up. That is the hunger of the void. It will not allow anything to exist. It will not allow anything to remain in any created form, any material form at all. Nothing can exist because of void. And therefore, this is a hunger. Now, this is a hunger which is actually much larger than the hunger of the vital creature. Anything that would come into existence is that it will swallow up. That is hunger. Therefore, it is a tremendous, great miracle, a wonderful achievement that out of this void something could emerge and remain, something in conscience. So it is a very great advance that out of this hungry void that something could come into existence and remain in conscience, has that stability, that firmness, that rockiness, that it can withstand the swallowing hunger of the void. It can remain there. So, in that sense, inconscience is something great, something absolutely marvelous, that it can withstand the power of hunger or the void and give a stability for things that would happen from that point onward. They may not be very acceptable to you, so what? But a great advance has already been made that whatever will be created will not be swallowed by this hungry void. You see. Life that devours my image, see in things. So that is the primordial. Hunger, of course, stands for death himself in that sense. Mortal, whose spirit is my wandering breath. Yes, what are you after all? My wandering breath. Whose transience was imagined by my smile. Please, clutching the poor gain to thy trembling breast, pierced by my pang, time shall not soon appear. So go away, quick, before I swallow you. So that this scorn which he is talking about. Blind slave of my deaf foes, whom I compel to sin that I may punish, whom I compel to sin that I may punish, to desire that I may scourge thee with despair and grief. And thou coming bleeding to me at the last, thy nothingness recognized, thy greatness known, turn nor attempt forbidden happy feet. Attempt not forbidden happy feet, they are not for you at all. Meant for the soul that can obey my law, lest in the somber shrine thy tread awake from their uneasy iron-hearted sleep. The Furies who avenge fulfill their desire. So we are seeing last time the Furies say they are asleep, and before they wake up, quick, go away. These Furies will come and follow you. They with the dark black skin, having serpents on their hair and all that kind of thing, angry, monsters, they will come and pounce upon you and you will be torn to pieces. You will be nowhere. Before all that happens, please go away quickly in my safety. Run away from here quickly before the Furies away. Dread, less in skies where passion hoped to live. The unknown's lightning start and terrified, lone, sobbing, haunted with the hounds of heaven, a wounded and forsaken soul. Thou flee to the long torture of the centuries, nor many lives exhaust the tireless wrath. Hell cannot slay, nor heaven's mercy assuage. Nobody can help you. Neither hell can slake your thirst, nor heaven help you out. I will take from thee the black eternal grip. This grip of death which is there, it is I will take away. So now you please go away quickly, safely. Clasping in the heart the faith exiguous dole. This is what we were saying last time. Exiguous doles, scanty gifts, small little petty doles, payments, which are regular payments are given, that is the dole. So it is those you accept and go away quickly, quickly, quickly. Depart in peace. If peace for man is just, if peace for man is just, which only means that there is really no peace for man. There cannot be peace for man. There cannot be peace for man as long as death is present. As long as death is present, there cannot be peace. In fact, it is perhaps that which keeps his urge, his aspiration, his hope, his desire to grow more and more. And there is a kind of a struggle, therefore, to achieve what he hopes for, what he wants to do. There is a kind of a struggle. And when there is a struggle, there cannot be peace. There cannot be peace. But now, you want this thing, go away quickly and remain peaceful there. If peace can be there, you go back to the hermitage, live with your elderly parents-in-law, serve them, be of help to them, and remain and live a peaceful life if there can be peace. But Savitri answered, meeting scorn with scorn. So it is nail for nail, tooth for tooth. You cannot but do that, you see. Now the question will arise, should really Savitri take that kind of a stand? He will be talking with full of scorn. Should Savitri also adopt the same method, scorn with scorn? Should she can rise to her nobility, to her greatness, to her majesty, to her high stature, and answer in a different manner. Why does she want to say scorn with scorn? Because she has to make here a kind of a rhetorical point. A rhetorical point. Her answer is not directly answer, it is a rhetoric. What you are talking is all nonsense. This is what she is basically saying. It is not acceptable to me. I can't accept what you are telling me. And therefore, to make a rhetorical point, scorn with scorn. She is making a rhetorical point. But Savitri answered, meeting scorn with scorn. The mortal woman to the dreadful Lord. So that is the contrast. She is the mortal woman, he is the dreadful Lord, the giver of law, the upholder of law, the ordiner of the world, Yama. That is the dreadful Lord. And then she is questioning, who is this God imagined by thy night? You are imagining such a God. Who are you talking about? What are you talking about? Do you understand what you are speaking? It looks like that. You are not able to gauge the depth of your own thoughts, of your own ideas, of your own formulation, what you are talking about. Who is this God after all? Who is this God imagined by the night, contemptuously creating worlds of disdain? Who made for vanity the brilliant stars? You have made the stars, brilliant stars, for your vanity. For your vanity. It is not this God who has made the stars for that purpose. You have made the stars. From me they are coming to existence, all right. For what? To proclaim, to announce, to assert your vanity. You have made the stars. My God does not do that kind of a thing. Not he who has reared his temple in my thought and made his sacred floor my human heart. He has made my heart a temple floor. He comes and walks in the temple. He lives there. He moves around there in the temple. It is not that kind of a God who has created these vainglorious forms of yours. My God is will and triumphs in his path. So whatever he wants, that he will assert, and he will see that that will gets fulfilled, triumphs in his path. My God is love and sweetly suffers all. This world is harsh, this world is cruel, this world is agonizing, but he suffers for that. He loves it. He has created it for a purpose. He has not abandoned it. He is always in love. My God is love. My God is will. So these are the two big assertions Savitri is making. My God is will. My God is love. By becoming will, he triumphs everywhere. His will is that which will achieve what it wills. What he wills, that will. That is the triumph. So that is the will. My God is love. So even when he is suffering here, mortality, accepting the inflictions of death, of ignorance, of torture, of all that, he suffers because of his love for this creation. It is the power of love which will redeem his creation. This is exactly the entire meaning and trust of Christ avatarhood. Christ avatarhood is all quintessence in this one single line. In this one single line. Suffer sweetly all. It is because of that suffering that love has become immortal. It was necessary for Savitri to depart. It is occurred the requirement that he should depart. He must go 5th December 1950, 1:25 a.m. He must depart on that day. Because it is only by going he could fix the supermind permanently in the material creation. He could fix supermind in the material creation only because of that. It was necessary. It was coming and going. In order to fix up permanently here in matter, in the physical, he had to leave that thing so that it cannot trapped. It is a strategic move to hold on supermind in the material world here, you see. He had to go in the same manner, roughly 2000 years earlier. Christ had to suffer on the cross so that love triumphs. Love is fixed in this creation. The way Savitri fixed supermind in the physical on 5th December 1950, in the same manner, Christ, by crucifying, by accepting the crucifixion, fixed love permanently in this creation, that it cannot go away It has to remain here permanently. It has. That is a great magic, that is a great occult logic behind the whole thing. Why had Christ to suffer that way? That only in that way the physical receives the full power of love which remains permanently then here. And see the magic transformation which had taken place after that. The whole spiritual scenario completely changed after the crucifixion. You see, the psychic being came into most prominent way in the operations of the social dynamics, in the operations of the spiritual dynamics, in the operations of the occult workings. It is that power of love which started expressing itself everywhere. It was not only in one particular place that it happened, not on Via Dolorosa. It happened there, all right, but the power spread universally. The bhakti movement which came after that event is universal. It flourished wherever it could flourish, wherever the psychic being could come out. The opening of the psychic being is the magical thing which came because of this power of love which suffers sweetly in all the psychic being. It is that which has opened out completely, you see. The whole bhakti movement, in fact, in India there was bhakti, but now the psychic coming out has taken a totally different turn in the last 2000 years. You see so many movements in all the parts of India. The bhaktas arose, the devotees arose, and all kind of songs, recitation, temple, chants, everything became bhakti, 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 bhakti. You see, after that particular event, love that sweetly suffers for all. After crucifixion, in fact, that is what makes Christ an avatar who fixed God's love here in the physical by sacrificing himself. You see, by sacrificing himself. That is the great sacrifice, you see. And the bhakti movement, of course, it had certain negative effects also, but that is a different matter. Say, bhakti movement, all right, then you say, he will do everything. You to God will take care of me everything. I want food, it is his botheration, not mine. He has to provide food to me. See? That became tamasic. That wouldn't work, that kind of a thing. So the negative elements also started coming because of that thing. See? So it is not love alone, it is not will alone, but the totality of the powers of the spirit. It is that which must come into existence. The mother speaks of three great moments in the entire spiritual history. She says of in the earlier stages, the urge for immortality, the Vedic rishis, what did they earn? Amrutam, immortality. God, immortality. In the world of knowledge, immortality. Their whole pursuit was immortality. Their whole sadhana, their whole tapasya, their whole yoga, their whole yajna operation was towards immortality. That was a great thing. That was one moment. The second moment was, of course, permanent. Buddha, he sought permanent. The whole present world is temporal, is transient, is fleeing, is going away. There is something which has to be permanent, which has to be always there, unshaken, undisturbed by all these things at all. Timeless, absolute, non-moving, permanent. That was the search of permanence of the Buddha. But the mother says, well, that is good, but sorry, it is not permanence that we are seeking for. Permanent in a different sense. Permanent means what is there will remain as it is. As it is. We don't want that. What we want is manifestation, evolving growth or the possibilities of the spirit in this creation. Not permanent, but evolving growth, the possibility of the spirit. That is what we want. So she wants to go beyond immortality. She wants to go beyond the permanent of the Buddha. She wants to go beyond the will of Agni. I must do this, I must triumph, I must do that. She wants to go beyond this love for God of suffering. The problem with Christianity was, or has been, and is still there, that they had deified sin and error and evil. They have made God of sin. You are a sinner. That kind of, it is that which is the mistake. What is required is love. And that has to be correct. So she says that, look, through the ages of spiritual growth, you had immortality, you had the search for permanent, you had search for the will of Agni to do things, you have the power of love manifesting itself. These are the different dawns which had come in the course of spiritual awakening through the ages and ages. But that is not enough. What she says, what we want, what Sribendu has been asserting is not immortality, not love, not will, not the permanent. What he has been asserting is certitude, the divine certitude, the supramind. It is inevitable and decreed that supermind shall take possession of this creation. That is the certitude I want. That is the certitude. Supermind will descend and assert itself in this creation. That is the certitude we want. And the whole thrust of spirituality is now moving from immortality, from the permanent, from the will, from the love to the power of certitude. It is decreed and inevitable that supermind shall manifest upon earth. It is decreed. Well, it is inevitable that it must happen. One can understand it is inevitable because it is that which will give the certitude. Therefore, it is inevitable if there has to be certitude in this manifestation. It has to happen, there will be certitude only when that happens here. It is decreed. Who has decreed that? It is decreed that supermind will descend. Who has decreed that? Who else can decree except the great yogi? By his yoga, he saw that it is done, it is decreed. He gets sanction from the Supreme. Please, this has to happen. You can't stop it. Let it happen. That is the decree. He wills it and he asserts it and it is sanctioned from the Supreme. The decree is approved by the Supreme. To him I have offered hope for sacrifice and gave my longings as a sacrament. So that is the kind of a worship I am making now for him.